Welcome to the With You Rugby podcast, designed to give you an in-depth look at the United States Rugby Foundation, including our grant programs and recipients, fundraisers, events, and much more. Now let's get started.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to yet another With You podcast presented by the US Rugby Foundation. I'm John Hinken, President and CEO of the US Rugby Foundation, and as we do every summer, we like to get to know our Hall of Fame class a little bit better, being recognized by the 2025 Hall of Fame. She is a Presmac Award winner. She's also a Higgins Scholarship winner from the US Rugby Foundation, so we have had a history of good luck with her. And she has just recently come back to the States from a tour to Brazil with the US Falcons, among many other accolades. I'd like to welcome into the studio Ali Cunningham. Welcome, Ali.
Thank you so much.
You got it. You have not been on this earth that long, but you've already made it a pretty big impact. And the good news is you came to life and immediately started rugby. I've got notes here that you were introduced to it at 1 year old. That's a record. What's the story there?
So my dad actually found rugby in college. Didn't make a football team, so found rugby, stumbled upon it, and has loved it ever since. He's obsessed with it. Nice. Watches rugby whenever he can, and so when I was a baby, he was coaching, and he was also playing at the time, and I would be on the sidelines with him, and that child that follows the coach around and gets too close to the field. But that was me.
Did you ever have those YouTube moments where you kind of toddle onto the field and get in the way, sort of thing?
Not that I remember, but there's definitely videos of me doing stuff and playing in the sand and hanging out with all the rugby guys, and cool. Lots of photos, lots of baby passed around to the rugby team.
Yeah, yeah. Did they use you as a ball and sort of toss you around a bit?
Definitely a possibility.
We'll just go with that and say yes.
Perfect.
All right, so there's no truth to the rumor you made your first tackle at 3 years old on some 280-pound prop.
Yep.
There's no okay. You grew up with rugby. Did you exclusively play rugby, or were there multiple sports in your life?
So my dad started a tag rugby program around 3 or 4. And my brother is 2 years older than me. So he started that program, and there was about 10, 15 kids when it started. It was just a park and rec. So I was able to run around with that. I was too young to officially start, but at the time, there's no real competitions. There was just inter-squad matches. But when I growing up, I did skiing, recreational skiing in the beginning, and then I did soccer, softball, track and field, swimming, all the sports you can imagine. But I stuck with soccer and downhill ski racing were my two main sports later as I got older. Yeah, and then rugby as well.
Absolutely. And I love the multi-sport athlete. I think that makes someone a better athlete overall. Were you able to take some of your rugby skills and apply them to other sports, and then conversely, other sports to rugby skills? Soccer for me, you probably had the vision of the field and you can see where to go and what to do. Skiing, I'm sure balance had a whole lot to do with your success.
Absolutely.
Eddie.
Yeah. So I guess my biggest strength in the game of rugby, I'd say, is kicking. And I think a lot of that has to do with my rugby career. So definitely the fundamentals of my kicking started with soccer. So super grateful about that. And then I used to travel a lot for soccer, play competitively, and decided that I wanted to focus on rugby solely and skiing in high school. So those were my two main focuses. So I stopped soccer 8th grade. But for downhill ski racing, definitely the translation of balance. But something that we actually realized later was, so I do the field goal kicking and for 15s at least. And I guess for 7s, we do the drop goal. But just the pressure alone from that, it can be a lot of pressure. It's a difference of a win or loss. And there's a lot of pressure in downhill ski racing as well. You're at the top of the hill and it's just you that's going down. And I think that translation of the pressure really showed well in rugby. So that was like the two, yes, there's a lot of difference between skiing and rugby, but I think the pressure and the balance between the two, and then strength. I was quite skinny and quite small when I was little. And so definitely that did not help in my downhill ski racing, just because mass you have, the faster you'll go.
Right.
So definitely the strength, me getting stronger for skiing, translated for the rugby pitch as well.
No, that's fantastic. And that focus that you talked about a little bit, you're at the top of the hill and it's just you go. And that's it. And it's just you have to, the fitness involved to make those decisions under pressure at the highest level. That's, that translates exactly into why you've had a successful rugby career. More on your skiing, why not? You didn't just dabble in it. Talk to us about your successes there.
Yeah, so I originally started skiing when I was young, 3 or 4. Again, that was
young, by the way.
Very young. So my parents took my brother and out. They taught us how to ski, and then we did lessons, and we really wanted to go to the next level, and there was not high enough lessons. And someone's like, "Why don't you do ski racing?" And my parents were like, "Sure, we'll sign them up." So my brother and I were signed up. I started ski racing when I was 7 and my brother was 9, and we've loved it ever since. We were not great in the beginning, so because my parents have never ski raced, and that's usually a tradition in a family as well. So it was very new to us, and so I ski raced. I did competitively ski racing outside of the school. I did it through a club, and that would force me to travel every weekend to Michigan. So that's about a 5 or 6 hour drive. So it's a big commitment for my parents. And I'm super grateful. They were super supportive. And then when I got to high school, I decided to stop competitively outside and do club. I stopped that in high school because it was just too much, because I wanted to focus on rugby, being at fall and spring, and it was just too much time. So I stopped doing club, but I still did high school racing through my high school. And then my senior year, I decided I wanted to go back to club. So my senior year, I actually traveled again, and that was a lot more travel at a higher level than it was in middle school, and definitely translated to my success. But yes, I did do high school ski racing in high school, and was super successful with that as well at the state championship.
Yeah, you ended up to be athlete of the year at high school, yeah?
Yes, yeah.
There you go. Not too shabby. So your parents were they your two biggest influences growing up? I mean, I'm a parent. I played club, and it's all come back full circle, and now I drive all over the place with my kids as well. It could be anybody, but your mom and dad, biggest influences growing up?
Oh, absolutely. It was, hey, I wanted to go to this thing. All right, let's do it. Let's go. And just the biggest supporters. And if there was something, that they were there for me always. We're traveling for skiing Friday through Sunday, 5 hours away, and they're working. So we leave right after classes, and then their work, get there late Friday night, skis all day Saturday, ski all day Sunday, and then we're driving 5 hours back. So it was a lot. And then on top of that, in fall and spring, we had rugby season, and then I did select camps on top of that, and some of them were Midwest based. That's 7-8 hour drive, or it's a flight away, and they always said yes to me, which I'm super grateful. And even today, I mean, it's what they did. So I played a game for New York about 3 weeks ago. It was my first game, and they had a trip planned, and I said, could you cancel it and come out and watch? So they did. They canceled their trip to come out to watch me. Then they came out to Brazil to go see my 2 games there. And then this coming weekend, I have a game, and they're flying out to come watch me as well.
So with all this, do they just use your brother as like carry-on luggage and maybe strap him to the car, and he's
Yes, no, he's a big supporter as well. He can't go to as much. He's in the army. So he just bought a house. My parents were there for that. Let's take him to my rugby game. But don't worry, they're making time for my brother. They're going out for the 4th of July. So they're fitting all the trips in. But no, he'll come along for some stuff. But he's just as big into rugby. He didn't play at all, but he went to Six Nations with my dad. And so I couldn't do it because I was in season. But he loves rugby just as much and doesn't understand the game. He's never played at like a tackle level, but he gets the gist.
Was it just the Six Nations tournament that just ended?
It was last year. Last year they went.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, they're great games. They were just all great games.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So cool. Is it just you and your brother as the siblings?
It is. Yes.
Thank God. Otherwise, I don't know how they'd split up anything else. So is your dad still involved with rugby? Did he, was he part of just one club, or did he follow clubs around?
So he was a coach for a college team, Marquette in Wisconsin, I believe he was. Yeah. And then he was the coach of the Harlequins in Milwaukee, a men's program, and then which later changed to the Barbarians. He was coaching there for a little bit. I believe he did play for the Harlequins. Maybe he played for the Barbarians. I'm not quite sure. But was coaching, filtered out of that. Did a few coached my high school for a little bit, then stopped that because I was there. We needed a little separation. And then he was, I think, over a decade, he was doing the tag rugby program, and he was the organizer of all of that. But this coming summer is the first summer he's officially done. It's being taken over. So he's been involved in that. But right now he does the old boys touch, but just runs around. But he's getting up in the ages. So
oh God, bless his heart. What a great advocate for the game of rugby, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So, athlete of the year, I'm sure you were queen of the prom and everything, but now you have to go on to college and start a whole new. Sacred Heart, was the choice a rugby choice, a scholastic choice, a combination? Did you have options?
Yeah, so I knew I wanted to go to college, and then I knew I wanted to play a sport, so whether or not it was downhill ski racing or rugby. If I went to downhill ski racing, I would have to take a gap year to get my points up because I only did the club my senior year. So that would be a bigger commitment. And then I reached out to some rugby schools and felt that Sacred Heart was the best option academically, rugby, and location-wise. So I fell in love with the school. I wasn't in favor of it when I visited, and then I had a conversation with my mother afterwards, and she was like, I love the college. And so she got me excited for it. And the coaching staff is great. And I didn't get a chance to meet the girls. I knew a couple of girls on the team from my high school, but I wasn't able to meet the team due to COVID. And I actually, on a whim, saw it my sophomore year. My parents were big planners, so went out there early just to see the school. And thank goodness we did with COVID. And I just met the coaches briefly, saw the school, and didn't even meet the team at the time because I was too young. And fell in love with it and decided that was the choice.
So you had success there as well. So immediate impact. Talk us about the Sacred Heart career.
Yeah, something that my coach brings up, and Coach Reed, she was like, I came in wanting competition and I wanted a competitive atmosphere. And when I said that as a senior in high school, I didn't really truly knew what it meant and how much it meant to her that I said this on a call. And it's something that stuck with her. And so that's what I was looking for in a college. I want a competitive atmosphere. I don't want anything given to me. And that's exactly what happened there. Is it's you have to fight for your spot. You're fighting to make that program better. And really, one thing coming in, I wanted Sacred Heart to be on the map and someone like people to know. Like, 'cause it's a small college in Connecticut. So people to know about it. And like, I'd say by my senior year, a decent amount of people know what Sacred Heart is, and they have to turn down recruits before they didn't have that. So it's very cool.
That's fantastic. And again, you were part of it. And, the coaches will thank you for that. I mean, you're still the young college age student, but, you've already been selected to the Falcons, which is a big step. Tell our audience, if people don't know who the Falcons are or what that is, explain to
Yeah,
people
so the
what
Falcons are a step down from the Eagles. So they're just that senior squad
a
that's
step towards the
step
Eagles.
towards, correct. Yes,
There
step
you
towards
go.
yes. So you got the U18s, the U20s, U23s, then you have the Falcons, then you have the Eagles. So it's a
Yeah.
senior squad. It's age ranges from young to old. There's a whole wide range. So we had the opportunity to go to Brazil. They've actually been doing this for the past 3 years. 2 years ago, they brought the U23s. Last year, they brought the Falcons. And then this year, they also brought the Falcons. So it's step towards the Eagles. So you have some capped players on the team as well as age grades. So you have some U20s, some U23s, and then you have those in between, not capped girls, but older than U23s as well.
Sweet. So how was that experience?
Oh.
You were looking for competition. I'm sure you found it.
Yeah, no, it was a great experience. The girls were great. It was cool learning from the older players, to having that opportunity, and they're super welcoming. Like sometimes you don't get that, and those girls there at Brazil were super welcoming, teaching us the system because the system is new for me. I learned it in January as a 15, but not as a 10. So it was a little bit of a change for me. And so it was a great experience. The Brazilian girls were awesome. And the coaching staff was great, and super, super honored that I was picked for that.
Yeah. Hey, what often happens, I find on tours and when you're getting to those high level teams, is there's an elder player or a more capped player that you kind of gravitate towards. They take you under the wing and show you the ropes. Did that happen at all during this last tour?
Absolutely. Benny was the captain of the tour, and she just took me under her wing, and I was fortunate enough to be honored as vice captain. So I really looked up to her for everything. Yeah. So I really looked up to her for everything and asking her for advice. And the forward pack was more senior, and the backs were more younger on the younger side. So
as a back, that's fantastic to hear.
Yeah, so she really took me under her wing and was showing me the ropes and helping between that, because your fly half is between the forwards and the backs. So really bringing that not divide, but groups together and working through it. So that was really cool to see. And then Amy Bryce, who's the 13, I met her in January. Everyone says we look alike, and we look like twins. That's what Benny kept saying. And it was awesome to have her experience because she's from Australia. So it was really cool to see. I mean, her rugby knowledge is crazy. So it was really cool to work with her as 10 and 13. And she was also my roommate. So that was like a really good duo that I liked.
So did you use the twin factor to mess with anybody?
Well, a little bit. They did mix up our names quite a bit. It was Ali and Amy, and it was trying to figure out who's who. And then there was actual twins there too, who actually go to Sacred Heart, twin props. So they're like two sets of identical twins. I'm like, oh.
There you go. Yeah, you could have a lot of fun with that going forward.
Absolutely.
We'll just tuck that one here in the corner, and we'll get back to that later. So 7s or 15s or both? What's your any particular loves for the codes?
That's a good question. I mean, I love both. I love rugby, so anytime to get on the pitch is a great opportunity. I played more 15s in my life. I haven't really played that much 7s. It's only been in in high school we never played 7s. But in college is when I was really first introduced to 7s at a high level. And I'm not against 7s. I'm not against 15s. I like them both. But I do love 15s for the kicking game, but I also do love 7s with the space. So it's just don't really have a preference, but I've gotten more opportunities with the 15s, but doesn't say can't get it with 7s.
No. It's just, I mean, they're different codes, and there's players that can excel at both. I mean, you seem to be more focused on 15s, but I was wondering if there was any 7s background that maybe helped with the pass or helped with angles and setting up back lines or anything like that. So they both have great advantages.
Yes, well, I just found out too because I'm going to Scotland next year after the 15 season. It looks like there is some 7s after, so I'm super excited for that as well. Looks like there's a couple tournaments that the school goes to, So I'm excited to see and what that looks like. And this summer, I'm hoping to play some sevens with the Chicago Lions as well, if things work out as well. So
I'm sure it will. It so far so good with everything working out for you. You're going to Edinburgh.
I
Is
am.
that
Yes.
all right? So there is a small little sevens tournament, the Melrose Sevens. Is that
It might be
is
that.
what you
I don't know the names of it, but I just saw online.
Melrose Sevens is like the birthplace of sevens tournaments.
Okay.
Please go. If you guys have the opportunity, it's phenomenal.
Good to know.
It is phenomenal.
Good to know.
Yeah, absolutely. And so at Edinburgh, you're getting a master's.
Yes.
Is that where the
Master's in business management.
There you go. There you go. And are there any thoughts of playing in Europe beyond school, or would you want to come back to the US?
After graduating from the University of Edinburgh, I get a 2-year work visa if I apply for it and it all goes well. So maybe I'll stay in Scotland for another 2 years after that. So 3 years total. And so there could be possibility that I stay out there longer. But with this WER, I don't know, and the season changing to end of May or May next year. So that also changes things as well. But the reason I'm going to the University of Edinburgh is I wanted to be abroad. I wanted to learn a different style of rugby and getting a master's at the same time. So all win-win in all situations. Right. So my goal is to stay out there longer, but it is just taking it year by year and figuring it out from there.
Edinburgh is beautiful too. You'll enjoy it. It's a great, certainly a great town to go to school in, and
that's what I haven't visited, so I'm super excited. Yeah. So
I've been there. It's really totally cool.
That's awesome.
All right, so there's and now we turn the time dial up 4 or 5 years. Where do we find Ali Cunningham?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Honestly, I have no idea. I guess I do want to continue playing rugby. And so that's like one of my number one priorities is where that lands me, where a job lands me. And then always tucked in my back pocket is where I can go skiing. So anywhere near a mountain too. So ideally a mountain with a rugby pitch would be ideal situation. So wherever that is.
So you might move over to France a little bit, maybe play over there, or come back to the States.
Yes.
It's an exciting in about 6 weeks. Geez, with the Hall of Fame ceremony. What an incredible year to be recognized for the Presmack Award, the 50th anniversary of USA Rugby. The Hall of Fame, that's on Thursday, the 18th, the Hall of Fame on Friday, the 19th, and then the doubleheader, men versus England, women versus Fiji on the 20th. So the eyes of America are going to be in Washington, D.C., and the eyes of the world. It's really going to be a spectacular weekend. Are you excited for that weekend? Do you plan on gathering it all in?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. No, I'm super, super excited. And there's a lot of people coming out for the event and then also staying for the game. So it's a very cool, I'm excited to go watch some good rugby and then a doubleheader on top of that. So it's awesome.
Any of your teammates from Brazil make the team that's going to play against Fiji?
I don't know. Selections came out yesterday. So not quite sure who made what and what the status of that is.
So your phone didn't ring?
No. But that's okay because I'm not ready yet. It's too early.
Right. You got things to do.
Got more learning.
Right. So one of the big goals is we've got a World Cup coming to the U.S. for the women. Is that one of your goals?
Yes, it is.
We're going to turn that little dial up a few more
yes.
years.
Yes, definitely a goal. Definitely a goal of mine for sure.
I mean, how exciting would that be? Just playing in your country in a World Cup for your country. Wow.
Insane. It would be really, really cool.
Yep. Excellent. Well, hey, just a reminder to everybody, the Hall of Fame weekend, the gala weekend, the doubleheader weekend, all coming up in July in Washington, D.C., July 17, the 50th anniversary, July 18, the Hall of Fame, and July 19, the doubleheader, all in Washington, D.C., the Hall of Fame this year presented by Major League Rugby. It's going to be an exciting event. Please come out. You can meet Prusmack Award winners like Ali Cunningham, and you've gotten to know her a little bit better here, but let's get to know her live in person in DC. We'll see everybody out there. Ali, thank you very much for making some time in your busy schedule to let the world know a little bit more about you. It's been a pleasure.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.